Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. Out there in Portland, Oregon, on the West Coast, in Portland, the Portland Public School teachers have gone on strike, which is the largest school system in the state of Oregon. Approximately 3,200 teachers. Their concerns are increased salaries and wages, more time for lesson plans, and smaller teacher to student ratio classes. This is very important because a teacher is one of the primary mentors for young children in their adolescent, pre-adolescent years outside of their parents. Think about it. The average child spends 8 hours a day in school. They almost spend more time with their teachers than they do with their parents. So teachers serve a very integral component to a child's development. Mentorship, teaching, mediator, advisor, making sure kids get their lunch, listening to some of their problems that they're having at home, in the neighborhood, at school, interacting and preventing and mediating bullying. So a teacher serves several roles, way more than just being a teacher. There's a level of understanding and patience that takes place. And it's amazing how in America, certain jobs that are the fabric of our society and our middle class, like teachers, nurses, police officers, firemen, these jobs have been extremely underpaid. I don't blame the Portland, Oregon public school teachers for wanting a pay increase. That needs to be across the entire board in America, period, through all public schools throughout our country. Teacher salaries have not increased with the cost of living increase over the last 25 years. Same way with police officers' salaries who are putting their lives on the line, firefighters who are putting their lives on the line, nurses who are saving lives and putting their lives on the line. A physician makes 20 times, 15 times what a nurse makes. And nurses do just as much work as the doctor. So for some reason, America has taken a blind eye to some of these jobs that are part of our moral and work fabric in America. Teachers are one of the most unappreciated jobs that are in America today. Same way with nurses. And I guess at this particular juncture, with the advent of social media and the internet, we're getting these news feeds all the time about all these people that are disgruntled about their job, unhappy, a hostile work environment. They want you to do more, get paid less. And you're seeing, as a result of social media, many employees are going on strike. You had the writer's strike in Hollywood, the UAW strike with GM, Ford, Stellantis. Here recently, just trying to get settled. You had teachers in LA and Oakland that went on strike for a while. You have Walgreens and CVS pharmacy employees that have just initiated a 3-day strike. Employees at Kaiser Permanente had a strike. There's a lot of reverberable chaos that's going on in America in our middle class. And the difference between the haves and the have-nots has put an ardent strain on our middle class. And teachers and nurses fall right there in that genre of the middle class. I'm on the side of the teachers. It's hard enough as a parent to raise 2 or 3 children, let alone a teacher that may go through 150 kids in a day, maybe 30 kids in a class. And if you have 5 different classes throughout a day, that's 150 kids that you're dealing with. That takes a lot of patience, a lot of psychological and emotional strength, and they should be compensated for that. This striking thing is almost turning into an epidemic, like a disease throughout our country. You're seeing more and more companies that are going on strike that have not been happy with the work culture for many years. And people have complained about work environment relationships for the last 50 years. And in America has a tendency to ignore it until it boils over. America has a tendency to want to swing the pendulum too far to the right or too far to the left versus having a happy medium. And people are tired. There's a lot of mental illness that is taking place in professionals, with families. It's tough at work, and it's tough when you go home. And many people, especially in middle class America, feel that they are not getting any kind of outlet to release all of this negative energy that's being juxtaposed them. So you're seeing a lot of tempering anger and frustration in our middle class. And as I always say to my listeners, we should have a PhD in common sense. And I think our American government and our corporate America folks, they seem to lack a PhD in common sense. We're hiring people and the job description says one thing and then they end up doing 30 more things associated with it. To even get a job, they take you through so many different hoops that it doesn't even seem like they want to hire. You need a valid driver's license, whether it's a desk job. You need a background check. You need a credit check. You need a drug screening. You need this, you need that. And then you still may not get the job. And then if you do get the job description and your job duties might not even be in alignment. The description may say one thing and the duties once you start the job might be fivefold. And now you're stuck and you can't quit and you're upset. And I think this is what these teachers are going through all across America. And I think you're seeing just the tip of the iceberg with the Portland public school teachers that are going on strike. I think you're going to see that reverberate all across America. Chicago, Philadelphia, New York. What do you think it's like in these much larger cities in Houston, where the inundation of too many students per teacher, tons of problems, tons of bullying. These young kids today in these public schools are fighting like they're in prison. You're having riots. High school, grammar school has turned into some kind of asylum or prison setting, especially in these urban inner city institutions. And it's almost as if we are systematically preparing these young people, especially of color, to get prepared for prison. You enter these inner city schools through a metal detector. There are bars on the wall, there are bars on the windows. You're seeing tons of fighting. You have security guards at these schools. None of it, our inner city grammar schools and high schools don't look like a positive place of learning. And it's got to be tough for these teachers. They're almost like prison guards, if you really look at it. If anybody's been in these inner city schools, that's what it seems like. Like the teachers are not there to teach. They become correctional officers and the students are like the inmates. And a lot of this is a byproduct of fatherless homes for people of color. All of the funding has been removed and resources out of the inner city schools. They see that these inner cities are ghost towns, dilapidated buildings, abandoned buildings, vacant buildings. Your youth centers are no longer in existence for kids to have something to do. You're seeing fights at youth football games and youth baseball games and youth basketball games. It's dangerous now to even be a youth coach or a youth referee. These parents have unrealistic expectations for their children to become entertainers and athletes, and they want to fight and threaten the referee for a bad call, or they want to threaten the coach for not playing their child enough. All of these fall in line with the same thing, same fiduciary duties that a teacher has to go through. You have parents that want to come up to the school and fight the teachers. Teachers have a lot that they have to deal with on a daily basis. And at least we need to compensate them along the lines of the cost of living increase that happens every year. There shouldn't be a stalemate in their pay, but the expectation is through the roof. And you're seeing this in corporate America. People are tired. We have to make this workplace environment much healthier and much more positive. Or you're going to see mental illness go through the roof, suicide, workplace shootings. We've seen an uptick in mass murder sprees recently in Maine, and they had something take place in Tampa, Florida, in Indianapolis. There was a mass shooting over the Halloween weekend in Chicago on South Pulaski. 14 people got shot. There's a lot of stress. Too many guns on the street. Everybody wants to solve their problems with a weapon as opposed to mediation and talking through things. And there's been a heavy strain on what it would be like to be a teacher today, especially in the urban cities. And at least we need to give them a raise. We need more teachers. And if you see that the environment for teaching is so abysmal, no wonder the numbers are going down for wanting to be a teacher. So there's a need for teachers. There's been a decrease for police officers. That's a very stressful job. And then you saw Black Lives Matter try to defund the police throughout our entire country, which made no sense. St. Louis is down a couple of hundred police officers. Chicago is down almost 1,000 police officers. And the world is going in the wrong direction. We have too many of these liberal and libertarian laws that are being passed, and kids are running amok. Nobody values education, wanting to get a job and a career based off their brain. Everybody wants to do it based off their lips or their hands or their feet, meaning rapping, singing, or bouncing a basketball, or running a football. And there's a lot more to life than just doing those few things. So let's pray for the Portland, Oregon teachers. Let's hope that they can get their strike resolved and get back to work and teach these kids, because that's what it's all about. These children are our future, and we need to manifest their truth in the right direction and open the doors and lead them to a prosperous life. And let's have a PhD in common sense. Teachers need to be paid more. They do more and get paid less. Nurses need to be paid more. They do more and get paid less. There's a mental and physical strain that's being placed on these middle class jobs that needs to change. Teachers, nurses, police officers, firemen, administrators. Let's try to bring the dream of America back to reality and not let it turn into a nightmare. So, let's pray for the Portland, Oregon teacher strike to get resolved soon, and they can get back in the classroom and take care of these kids and teach them something. Let's open books. Let's not live by technology be a slave to technology. Everything's at a push of a button. Let's go back to the old mantra of delayed gratification as opposed to immediate gratification. That's one thing school teaches you. You start school in August and you get rewarded in December with your grade. Everything doesn't happen overnight. Most things in life take time. So if you enjoy this commentary, please hit the like and the subscribe button. Share this information with people you think will find it informative. Please check out the Trevor Donald podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Buzzsprout. And let's stay together and pray together.